Good evening and welcome to Channel Otherdoc. I'm Jim. I use he, him pronouns, and this is the second episode of our short campaign of Don't Rest Your Head. This is a horror urban fantasy game by Fred Hicks about what happens when you stay up so late you become something else. Let's go around and say hi to everybody and see who they are and who they're playing. And we shall start once again with Anino. Hello.
How's it going, everybody? My name is Anino. I am playing Jomaru Wonder, a former conceptual artist for Tempest Entertainment, who recently lost his job.
And Alyssa, hello.
Hiya folks, my name is Alyssa. I'm at Origami Shuriken on Twitter, and I am playing Lila Leor Mendelsohn, a customer service representative by day and a struggling artist by night.
Yes. Rock, hello.
Hey everyone, I'm Rock. Can be found on Twitter at Rock007, and I will be playing Dustin Lynch, a artist who has been recently under investigation because of mishaps.
Just a few minor mishaps. And finally, Lauren, hello.
Hello, I'm Lauren. I'm that salty ginger over on Twitter. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm playing Nancy Knight, whose sister has gone missing and who's currently walked through a door that shouldn't be there, and it's bad. I assume it's bad. Nothing bad's happened, but it's probably bad.
No, nothing bad ever happened where you're going. Nothing ever. Well, like we do with most games on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, or make an X symbol, and we'll back up and we'll do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil. So it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let us know we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we are moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or we do something and then think maybe it might be a little too much, then everyone else can respond to that with an X, an N, or an O and let us know if we're still doing okay. As you may have noted, we actually have the music tonight. Hopefully it'll last. But as this is still just breaking this portion of it in, as folks of you watching, you may let me know if the sound balance gets at all weird with respect to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead and get this thing started. Okay. Last time, we just started, and we started with Dustin, who had it was very, very early. It was dawn, and there were some cops knocking on his door that appeared to be like motorcycle cops from the 1970s, and they turned out to be clockwork cops. They pursued him. And they had these keys sticking out of their backs, and they were making these ticking noises. They pursued him, and he managed to get away. He got, things were looking different at his apartment building, but he dashed out and made it to the bus stop. Lila, the previous evening, perhaps? We're not sure exactly what the time frame is here, but it's all right because soon it may not matter. When we saw Lila, she had basically been seeing very strange things happening at this nightclub, I think it was, that she was performing at. She got away from there, and then she got a call while she was driving home from a fellow by the name of Johnson, who is a talent agent. He runs a talent agency. Then he was offering to represent her if she wanted to meet. He had a lot of opportunities apparently immediately opening up, and so she picked the place. She went. She drove over there, and he was already there. He offered her a contract for representation. And he felt that the way, just after their conversation, he felt that the way that she was leaning, that she would probably fit best with some sort of broadcast that he kept talking about, slightly secretively, because apparently there was someone else in the room he didn't quite want to hear that he was talking about a broadcast. Lila said that she would want to think about it, so he gave her his card, and apparently the card, for the first time, she saw the name of the talent agency, which is Johnson and Hitler. He didn't really comment much on it. It was, just that he. When I think she said something to the effect of, "Well, that's certainly that's certainly," and he was like, "Oh yeah." He sort of waved it off. Then as she started to leave, he kind of said, "You might want to hurry," and he sort of glanced over his shoulder at a figure in the corner, which was a trench-coated person with odd proportions, very broad shoulders, and a hat coming down, covering their head. She managed to get out of the cafe. There were a couple of doors for a moment, but she picked the one that led outside, got into her car, drove away. As this person came out, apparently there was something shiny, shining in the a little bit shiny that in the light from a lamp that she could see briefly in the face area, but couldn't actually see his face. She drove off. Nancy was heading home that probably same evening, perhaps roughly around the same time, we're not sure, and had noticed someone similar looking to that walking behind her. But then she was very distracted because her sister seemed to be calling. She saw it was her sister's number. She answered. There was nothing but static, and then briefly someone saying, "I'm probably your sister, maybe, who knows?" And then the line went dead. She was walking under a bridge at the time. She got back out from under the bridge so she could get bars. She redialed the number and ended up talking to someone with a German accent named Klaus. Klaus was the person's name, not the accent's name, but we can always imagine. She ended up talking to Klaus, and apparently he knows her sister, Alice. Apparently she's working, he said, in the psychiatric ward of a sanitarium, which actually perhaps a sanitarium is an entirely psychiatric ward, I'm not sure, but that's what he said. And so there was a little bit of a back and forth. He wasn't, he kind of was reluctant to provide direct information, but she wanted to know how to get in touch with Nancy, or how she was even reaching him, because she was using Nancy, because how Nancy was even reaching him because she was using Alice's number, and he had said, "Well, it's probably got misdirected. That's not normally how things work, but perhaps." He suggested there was some property of Nancy's that allowed her to be reaching him. He also mentioned that, okay, if you really want to know kind of what she's up to, you should probably look at that paper over there. He said on the phone. She looked. There was a newsstand. And the outer picture, she didn't really look at it very much, aside from the fact that the newspaper itself, was not a local paper that she recognized. But apparently on the front somewhere it had a picture next to an article of Alice, so that was a point roughly when she noticed that the gentleman pursuing her was very close. Klaus had said one more thing to her. It's like, if she really wanted to find the place, that she should, okay, if you really want to, I don't recommend it, but if you really want to, look for a door that shouldn't be there, go through and start asking around for the sanitarium. And so she started, she threw the rest of the contents of the paper at this figure that had been pursuing her, who neatly grabbed it and continued pursuing her. She ran under the bridge, and she saw a door in one of the sort of concrete posts under the bridge, A wooden door, white painted door with a doorknob. She went in, found herself in an alley, closed the door behind her, barred it, blocked it with a trash can, and then saw a calliope rolling by, being piloted apparently by a penguin. And Jamaru, very briefly, which is where we're going to pick up with our tale. When we got to Jamaru had just been fired. And that same evening, perhaps contemporaneously, we're not sure, had the Nightly Revealer. Thank you. I was going to look that up, trying to figure out what the name of the paper was again. But Jamaru was egging his former boss's condo. Sort of around for hit the two windows. Was going to start throwing eggs at the door. A kid on a bike tried to stop him and failed miserably. And then because he threw an egg at the kid, hit him. When he turned around, there was a police officer there telling him what he was doing was illegal and he would have to come with him. And this police officer was also a very monotone-speaking 1970s motorcycle cop. And that is where we left off. So let us see what's going to happen. So, Jamaru, you are face-to-face with this sort of out-of-place looking person dressed as a police officer after a fashion. What are you doing? Muted.
So Jamaru is going to size up his adversary with a very dark look of skepticism and just say, "What's it to you, Paunch?"
He says, "We would like to question you about a few things."
I don't really see why you need to question me. I mean, it's pretty clear what I'm doing over here, he will say, as he throws yet another egg at the front door to the townhouse.
Please, sir, please stop that, or we will be forced to bring you in.
Under what authority?
You just sort of slowly. He begins stepping forward, and you start to hear this kind of tapping noise as he steps closer. And it's this sort of ticking noise. And he says, "The authority of Officer Tak." And he's going to reach for you. What are you doing?
Okay, so Jamaru's just going to yell, "Stop right there!" And he's got an egg in his palm, and he's just going to smash it straight into the guy's face with his palm, like this, as a sort of in-your-face halt.
Excellent, excellent. So what I would like you to do, let's see. We're gonna go. Let me see here. I just want to make sure I've got the. I believe there's only one of him, and by themselves, these officers are actually not terribly impressive. So this is really going to be versus a pain of 1. And I'm going to I'll go ahead and roll that. And I have no successes, so I have a feeling you're going to be doing very well. So you have your discipline dice, and if you want to add exhaustion to that, you may, but that is up to you. Also, of course, madness is always available.
So I'm just rolling 1d6, less than 3.
Well, what you're doing is if you just want to use the discipline, then if you want to if you want to go with the thing on your sheet, you just click the discipline button, or it's 3d6. And then if you want to add exhaustion or madness to that, then you will roll more dice separately. Okay, and so let's see. Yeah, you've I mean, so you sort of decide. You should decide before you roll, but yeah, I mean, you've got 3 successes here, so it's no big deal. I will say, however, pain dominates. So you're going to be successful in this endeavor, but there is a cost. For one thing, I get a coin of despair. This is the first time pain is dominated. And I will get to use that in future rolls. Yeah. So, as you're sort of coming through here, you smash this egg into his face, and it is... You have misjudged the hardness of this person's face and used a bit too much force, because this is like smashing your hand into the side of a steel sheet, basically. So you do this, you feel, your wrist sort of erupts in agony, sort of right after you do it. But you do manage to sort of shove him back, and he is stumbling backwards. As he does, and he's kind of like, he's going like this, as he does, sort of strangely. You're going to hear the sound of motorcycles approaching. You see their turn. You're down at the end of the street. You see 2 more of these motorcycle cops, and you think they're a little bit ways away, but as far as you can tell, they look just like this cop, and they're starting to turn in your direction and head toward you.
Oh, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
So, is the officer armed at all?
He seems to have. He has a baton. He doesn't seem to have a gun.
Well, that's unfortunate. Jamaru will pick up the baton.
You grab
I guess
it.
I guess we're carrying over from last Saturday. So.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's just going to start backpedaling a little bit, just to watch who's coming, and then dash around or look around for the most clearest exit.
Yeah. All right. So, as you're sort of staggering back, yeah, you're kind of in a see, condos in a residential district. But I mean, so yeah, this would still have enough. It seems these are basically like city buildings still. So, yeah, there are a number of shops and things, kind of not too far away, the next street over, mostly in more housing, sort of down that way. You kind of got this sort of community going where they have sort of these little the businesses that are here are kind of, I almost want to say like these prestige type businesses where it's like they're there for the rich people basically, who live nearby. I'm going to say that sort of across, so you've got another block down, just past where you are, there is the entrance to a subway station.
Okay. So Jamara's going to dash for the subway, and he's going to slide down the banister.
Awesome. Good. Man of action here. So you are now trying to, as these two motorcycle cops are zooming in toward you. There are now two of them. So I'm going to be rolling 2 pain that you're going to be dealing against. And before you roll, again, no successes, but there's a chance pain's dominating here. So before you roll, do you want to add anything to just the discipline dice, or do you want to go again with just the discipline dice?
I'll just go with the discipline dice.
All right. Go ahead and just roll your discipline. Okay, 1 success. Pain is still dominating. So, as you leap, you are just a bit ahead of them. They actually are moving crazy fast as they're coming closer and closer. Batons out, kind of like they're almost jousting with you. As you slide down this banister, you kind of catch something sort of halfway down. There's a sort of a bit of a median in the banister where it doesn't connect completely all the way down. And you sort of bump off and you tumble down the last few steps. You see these motorcycles are now coming down hot on your heels after you. They're bumping down the steps of this subway station, but you are at the point where you have rolled into the lobby area of the entrance area of the subway station. There's a little ticket booth where someone is just kind of very sleepily just sort of sitting there reading a newspaper. And there is a little further in, you have kind of a gate with a turnstile.
Oh, we're hopping the turnstile.
Hop in the turnstile. Awesome. So you leap forward, and you sort of crawl forward, you get up, and once again, in an effort to, these guys are, it's in a very contained space, but they're going to try to roll over you as you are doing that, and the person behind the, let's see how this goes. Again, this is going to be a pain. I'm going to bump the pain up to 3 because you now have a little more confined space here working, and the third one is also still running after you. So you're going to be you're fighting against 2 successes. Now again, do you just want to use discipline, or do you want to add anything on top of that?
I think we're going to have to use our exhaustion.
Okay, you may up your exhaustion by 1 to gain access to that. So you're going to have your discipline dice and your exhaustion die. What is your exhaustion talent? Did we figure that out?
Yeah, so we're going to say that his skill is improvisational fighting, a la Jackie Chan.
Excellent.
In which he will use anything and everything at his disposal to
nice
fight this.
Very cool.
All right, what am I rolling?
So, if you're using it in a minor, if it's a minor use, then you're going to get at least one success. Because if you want to use a major use of it, then you're going to get 1 success plus whatever you roll on the exhaustion die plus your discipline dice. But you will get another exhaustion afterward.
Okay.
So
we'll just use minor.
You can use minor? Okay, absolutely. So you're guaranteed at least 1 success. Go ahead, still roll your discipline and your 1 exhaustion die. You're going to need to go into... if you want to use the macro there on the character sheet, you will need to go in and reset exhaustion to 1d6, which shouldn't be too difficult. You just go in and click the pencil and just change the 2d6 to 1d6.
Right. So I roll discipline, and then I roll exhaustion once.
Mm-hmm. There we go. All right. So, you got 1 success. And your exhaustion, and exhaustion is dominating. Also, there is a failure here, because I got 2 successes. So not
Don't
only...
I get Sorry, don't I get a...
Oh, you got 2 successes.
automatic-
You're right. You're right. You matched. You matched. Sorry about that. My brain is in many places right now. Yes, you did get 2 successes. And so actually, yes, ties are going to go to you. So yes, you actually are just barely going to succeed, but exhaustion is still going to dominate. So you're actually going to get 2 exhaustion now. So you now have a total of 3 exhaustion. What does this look like as you are basically fighting? Are you just going to hop the turnstile, or are you going to do something else to them as you're?
So he's going to do a sort of leapfrog kind of move over the turnstile, and then slide down to avoid anything that might try to hit him as he's doing his leap. So he's going to duck down and hope that the turnstile prevents them from riding.
Oh yeah, it does. You leap over. They kind of sort of one of them crashes into it. The other just sort of circles, and the person, the lady behind the ticket booth, sort of looks up. Hey, what are you doing? And you slide, and you're out of sight at this point. But you have slided down, and you are. This is that one took a lot out of you. Basically, the booze is not sort of helping so much anymore. You're still sort of bobbing and weaving from that, and the adrenaline is kind of helping, but at the same time, you're just sort of now. It's just sort of hitting you how much you have not slept, and as you're sort of diving and tumbling, there is a subway coming that you think you're going to be able to. They slowly, it comes, pulls in, and the doors open.
Cool. So Jamar is just going to pull his hood over his head and slip in as quietly as he can into the subway, and tuck behind one of the corners. Okay.
So you leap over, you get you run, you pull up your hood, you run in, and sort of glancing behind you, you don't hear the ticking anymore at this point, but you do see kind of as you're kind of, there are not a lot of people. It's late at night. And so there are not a lot of people here. There, you've got derelicts and what have you. They're just sort of sitting there. A few homeless folk, and you see these cops have gotten onto the other side of the turnstile at this point. They're running in. They're looking around. They're not seeing you immediately. And
yeah, okay, yeah, no, go on.
Well, you do see a couple of them as they're looking, because the 3 of them have actually gotten into the station at this point. Just, you think the doors are getting ready to close. You think you see them slip onto the train car ahead of yours, the one that you're on right now. So 2 of them did slip onto that train car, it looks like. As you were kind of looking, they could have gotten on there. As the subway is taking down going into the tunnel, you can kind of see them in the next train. They're just the next train car. They're looking around.
So I am going. Jamar is going to quietly use the door to move into the next car over. To try to put one car in between them and the cops.
Okay. So yeah, you slide the door open. It's very loud around you. You're sort of transitioning through, and you see that actually one of the there's one of the homeless guys sort of on the end is sort of just kind of sitting there. He's also wearing a hoodie right now. He's sort of looking, and he looks up, and he seems to see them coming, and he like gets up, and he comes in after you.
Oh, I'll be like,
The next car.
hey, you want to switch hoodies?
I don't want
I'll
any
give
part
you
of
20
them.
bucks. $20. They're not going to bother you once they realize that they screwed up.
Yeah, okay. $20?
Yeah, sure. And this half empty carton of eggs.
He shrugs. He takes the. Yeah, he'll start taking off his hoodie.
Right. So I'll swap hoodies with him and give him the eggs and the change from the purchase of the eggs. And
Oh my god.
and then and I'll continue moving towards the back of the train.
Okay. So the moment he kind of has that, and you see that he's looking nervously, and he sort of watches the moment you. I think he's trying to move toward the back of the train, and sort of as you glance back, you see that he's continued moving. He's gone. He goes over to what looks like a those service doors that they have in subways near the front.
Sure.
There's one. It's actually more like a. It looks a little like it. Looks like the same thing, but it looks like a kind of a hatch that's sort of on the seat side, which is a little weird. You see, he sort of looks over. He opens it up, and immediately puts the eggs through, and he crawls into that, and he closes it. And it looks like he's doing that as far as you can. By the time you're at the far end of the train now, by the time because that takes a minute. But sort of once you realize what he's doing, he does that, and it's like, wait a minute, there's that, and there's a service door. The physics of this are a little weird. But so he does that.
Wow. I can't believe the shit this world's coming up with.
And you see again the motorcycle cops are starting to open the far door, and they're getting ready to try to come in.
All right. So he is going to again move into the next car, and then he's going to try to barricade the door with the baton. See if that'll sort of buy him a little bit of time.
Yeah, you stick that in there. And again, there's a in this car there is a there's a lady dressed in white, and she's she has like a sort of she's like wearing kind of an angel costume. It looks like with complete with halo, and she's just sort of sitting there, sort of staring into the middle distance. She's the only one on this car, and she just kind of glances over, sort of nods at you.
Yeah, I'm in a real pickle, huh?
You know, pickles, you should go to the market.
Can't even get a good conversation these days.
Oh, they've got that too.
Fantastic.
They're really good. They're really good. That's gonna hurt. They're. I hate those guys.
Oh yeah, you've dealt with them before?
Oh yeah. You first time for you?
Yeah, I would say so.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Can't sleep, huh?
Oh, who needs sleep?
I know, right? And you can get pickles in conversation, and you can get emotions. You can get people's desires. It's really nice. It's really nice.
Isn't it? Yeah. So, you got any tips for dealing with these three? Because I kind of just want to go on my way.
Oh, you're
And
running out of train. You're running out of train. Uh,
yes, that much is true.
Let me see. Let
Um,
me see. Let me see. She stands up, sort of looking around. Um. Oh. Oh. Yeah. Okay. Well. Yeah. If they're coming in here, I should probably get going too. And she steps. She stands up. She's carrying kind of a knapsack, and she steps over to the other window. And it looks like there's something weird. It looks like the kind of a window in sort of the middle of this train is sort of a window that sort of, where the windows are. There's like a window that looks like it belongs on a house. And she's like, and she's sort of like,
oh, here, allow me, and
Come on.
he will.
and she starts, as you're getting up to her, she actually starts to, she seems to be glowing a little bit, which is weird. And she's like, I can, do you go up and help her?
I will go up and help her open
Okay.
the window.
She is, as she does so, she like pulls and like she breaks off one of the handles on this window. As she does, she's like, I hate when that happens. And her voice is sounding a little weird right now as well. The other one, yeah, it takes you a moment to kind of unstick it.
Sure.
There's like a latch you kind of have to move, but you do get it open. And you see you're looking into a room. Looks like a largely empty room. Maybe in an office building? Or maybe it's an art studio. Yeah, it actually looks a lot like an empty art studio.
Oh, cool. I wonder if I can leave my portfolio here. Anyway, window's now open. Ladies first.
Thank you. And she turns and she's like, and she very nimbly just sort of like backs up and she dives through the window and she does a little she does a little tumble on the other side and stands up.
All right. Well, I am going to conserve my energy, and I am just going to slip in casually, as one does when they break and enter.
You do? So yeah, you step through, and she's just kind of is now pacing around, and you're in kind of a weird sort of office building. Looking thing. I mean, well, it's more office, but yeah, it's art studio, and sort of like in a kind of a area, very run down. There are a few canvases still here up against the walls. See, it's sort of more of a loft affair where you can see the pillars, and behind you can still hear the train. You can hear them sort of rattling at the far door. And she just sort of looks over her shoulder. You may want to... As she's actually climbing, going over to the opposite wall where there are more windows, and with blinds pulled down over them. She's like looking under one of the blinds, and she sort of glances back. She says, "You're gonna want to close that window and probably make yourself scarce."
So she hasn't led me astray so far. Jamaro's going to be like, "Hey, good call," and he's going to shut that window and look around for another door. Or
yeah, there are a couple of doors out of here. There's a sort of an office type door on the far wall, sort of office entrance door it looks like, and then a couple of internal doors.
Is there anything special about going out a window versus a door?
Oh, well, one thing, the windows are higher up, and she jumps out.
Oh. I don't think I should follow her. That would be testing my luck too much. I'll go out through the office doors.
as you are passing, you do pass by the window that she jumped out of, and the blinds are kind of a little crooked on it that she sort of had gotten behind. Do you look or no?
Yeah, he'll look. Just
You
curious.
see you can't see it very well from here, but you see a strange kind of series of connected rooftops, and that are kind of a little bit below, and then sort of in the light of the moon, you see that lady you were just talking to flying away. We're going to now transition again, briefly, I think, over to... I'm going to transition over to Dustin. One thing, so there actually, I have 2 orders of business that we should probably deal with. That I just want to make sure we get out of the way here. First off, Rock, I was looking back at the video last time and I made an incorrect call. There was a point where I said that exhaustion was dominating for a roll you made, but in fact discipline was dominating. Because I didn't realize what I was looking at the time. I didn't see the stuff from the macros on it, and so I got confused about which die I was looking at. I think your current exhaustion would have been 2 had that been correct. But in fact, it would, with discipline dominating, it would still stay at just 1 exhaustion, and then you have a choice to either remove a check mark from a response or to remove the exhaustion die that you already had. Which would you have done at that point? Muted, I think.
I think all things considered, it would be removing the flight because he had made it to the bus stop.
Yeah.
He kind of sat down a moment. So I think at this point he's more trying to kind of hide. So he's not really in the flight mode.
Gotcha. Okay.
So-
Yeah. You seem to have given them the slip. After a few minutes, as you know, they're amongst these folks trying to get out for work, and a decent crowd is here. You hear a couple of motorcycles taking off, and you just sort of duck down and see them passing by. These 2 70s motorcycle cops with keys sticking out of their back. No one reacts to this. But they're heading off. And they get to the end of the street and they turn and they leave.
Okay. So keeping his head low, Dustin would have watched as they took off down the street, as they got to the corner and turned. And has one of the buses showed up yet, or is it like on its way? Or
it's probably going to be here in just a few minutes.
Okay.
This time of day, I'm going to say that the bus schedule is like double what it is at during it's a peak hour, so you're going to get more buses coming through right now. Like you're going to get a bus here. You're kind of on the outskirts, so it's going to be like a bus like every 20 minutes, instead of like the an hour,
Right.
the 1 an hour that it usually is.
So as soon as he sees them turn the corner and go down the street, knowing that it's probably going to be a couple of minutes before a bus shows up, I think he's going to get up and start walking kind of like down the street in the opposite direction, looking to cross over to the other side of the street, basically moving in a direction opposite of where they are.
Oh
where
yeah,
they
absolutely.
They went.
That's easy enough. You are on the kind of the outskirts of town. Here, I think probably, or in the kind of the maybe not the absolute outskirts, but the further edge. I'm guessing where the artists and what have you live, and so it's not difficult. Are you heading toward somewhere in particular, or just generally away from them?
This is you said that we're like I'm on the outskirts of town.
Yeah, well, the outer ring, I'll say.
Okay. I think he's gonna head like try to find Dustin's gonna be looking for another bus stop that might be on a different schedule, where one that might be a little sooner.
Sure.
And one that would be headed more towards the inner city.
Sure. I'm gonna say you can find that pretty easily because you live there. That's your neighborhood. So, yeah, you're going to pretty easily hop just a couple blocks over. There is a bus. You see, starting to approach the bus stop, several people again. They're getting ready for work. They've got their briefcases. They've got their knapsacks. They've got their various giant folders containing art gear. They have their various uniforms that they wear for their various difficult low wage jobs, and they're standing there, just waiting to get on the bus.
All right. Yeah. So I mean, he's gonna go ahead and get on the bus in order to try and get into the.
Okay. So one thing, sort of, yeah. So yeah, as you head over, and you're heading over, and you get in line to get on the bus. And do you have money on you? You just sort of headed out of the apartment. Did you pick up stuff before you left? You could have easily picked up your wallet and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine that he would still, have his wallet and everything on him. So
Gotcha.
And since public transportation is kind of his means of getting around, I would figure that he's probably either got like a bus card or something.
Oh yeah. So you've got your bus card, and you're just sort of, you're not even necessarily paying attention, but you run it through, and there's kind of a beep, and you hear the bus driver say, "Oh yeah, which side?" And you look up at the bus driver, and he appears to have the head of a jackal. He's still wearing the bus, uniform and all that. And he's sort of nodding. He's looking at you.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That's normal.
Which side, sir?
He's just. I think this is going to be unusual enough that I think Dustin is going to kind of stumble backwards off the bus. It's I figure, like if it's like most buses where they have kind of like the steps up into the bus, so he kind of like takes a step back and then so I assume like if somebody is behind him,
someone's behind you, and so they're you sort of stumble into them, and they're like, they're gonna let you through if you're trying to get away, but he just sort of, the bus driver just sort of leans up, he leans forward, he just sort of looks down at you. No. Are you coming or going?
Going. and I think he's going to try to push through and get off the bus at
Okay.
that point.
Yeah, they'll let you go. 'Cause they want to get to work, damn it. So they're getting onto the bus, and bus driver just shakes his head and just sort of scratches his fuzzy ears, sits back down, and they they get on the bus. Door to the bus closes. It takes off.
Yeah. That's yeah, you know what? Maybe a different bus stop.
At this,
Maybe
Mhm.
maybe, that's a bit strange. Maybe yeah. It-
You can hear it again.
can hear what?
You can hear the ticking
Oh. Yeah.
somewhere nearby.
Is there like a busy shop or something, or a restaurant, or
There is. Yeah, there's a strip mall not too. That's just a little ways down from here.
okay?
It's actually kind of The bus stop is at the end of the strip mall, and so you can just turn and head into it.
Okay. Yeah, Dustin's gonna try to head to the strip mall, kind of fast paced. Not necessarily running, but because he doesn't want to draw
Yeah.
attention, but he
So-
wants to get over there quickly.
So the coffee shop is open right now. There's an urgent care that's open right now. There's a sandwich shop that's probably going to open in a little bit. And then the boutique and the hobby shop and the gadget store are closed.
Oh, great! All places that a cop would go. Thanks, Jim. Good one. There you go. All right. So I guess he's gonna duck into the urgent care place,
Okay,
because I figure that's probably gonna be least likely
sure.
for where they're gonna go.
So as you head in, yeah, you can't hear the ticking as well, but you can still kind of hear it. There are you sort of come in here, and you see that they're kind of opening up. There are people here already,
Right.
because there's it's one of those places comes with its own line. But so there are people in the waiting room. You've got kind of sort of an everything's painted in strange oranges, and there's a lady behind the counter. It's one of the assistants is behind the counter, and she's taking someone's information. You see, there's a lot of seats. There's a way to a bathroom. There's a door to the back, and then there's this iron portcullis with sort of a wrought iron gate in the middle of it, against the far wall for some reason.
Is there anything behind it?
Yeah, you sort of are looking over, and it looks like you're looking into like a statue garden.
I
Moonlight shining down on it, which is kind of also odd.
Does the garden look like just kind of like like an open garden, or does it look kind of like almost like a maze? I mean, I'm assuming that being an artist, he probably would have seen pictures of like garden mazes and stuff like that. So, if he sees certain particular layouts, he's gonna kind of be able to make a guess.
It looks like it's an open garden. As far as you can tell, you can see there is a walkway. You can't make out details a lot because it seems to be night there. But it doesn't. You're not seeing any you're not seeing a hedge maze type thing or anything like that.
Okay. Dustin's gonna try and go through the back door.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, try to make his way to the back of the clinic.
Okay. Start heading toward the. Well, let's see. Well, for a place like this, I think that there's not really. I don't think you'd be able to access the back door unless you go through the area through the locked door, basically, to get to the patients. You've got the front entrance. There are side doors, but yeah, to hit a back door, you'd have to actually go through to where the doctor's offices are.
Right. And that door is locked.
Yeah, that door is locked unless they press a button behind the counter to open it, or unless they come through. And usually, what happens is that one of the nurses will come through and.
You said there's a bathroom, right?
There is a bathroom, yes.
All right, Dustin's going to look out the window. The windows. Does it look like the the turnkey cops are?
There are a couple of it looks like there are a couple of them have pulled into the parking lot. They're just kind of looking around, not immediately outside this place, but they're just sort of in the strip mall lot, kind of looking around. And then you see as they're one of them sort of talking on like a CB radio. Right now, there's just kind of they're kind of looking back and forth.
I think he's going to duck into the bathroom.
Okay. You go over. Someone's just coming out. You dodge. You go into the men's room. There is the accoutrements one would typically see. You have the sink. You have the toilet. You have the medicine cabinet. Actually, looks like a full-on medicine cabinet that's openable. You also have there's what looks like a dumbwaiter in here for some reason.
How
or
big?
The doorway to one.
How big is the doorway to the dumbwaiter?
It's about. I want to say it's about 3 feet wide by. It's like like 4 by 3 maybe.
Okay.
It's fairly big. maybe a little bit for industrial somethings. You're not sure.
So a completely unbranded John McClane escape tactic size.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. All right.
Which is kind of weird because it doesn't match the architecture here at all, but there it is.
Right. Honestly, I think he's going to he's going to make note of it, but he's actually going to lock the door and attempt to wait to see if the cops go away. Like give it a period of time, like if he's in there for 10-15 minutes, figure that's long enough for the cops to leave and lose interest.
So you hang out for a little while. The ticking gets a little louder.
Oh, that's good.
And it sounds as though there's one of them in the building.
All right. Going to unlock the door and open it just slightly to be able to try and see into the lobby, the waiting area, and see if one of the cops is in there.
So you look out, and it looks like... So there is a cop there. He doesn't look like the others, though. This one, he's dressed kind of like more a turn of the century. He's wearing a long blue coat with the shiny buttons on it. With the policeman's hat. And he's got the truncheon he's sort of just swinging around, glancing from place to place. And he sort of is turning to look at the... just sort of looking from face to face at some people. And he's turning back and he's sort of looking in through where... He's actually right now close to where the nurse's station is, and he's just sort of looking in. When he turns to do that, you see there's a big key in his back that's slowly turning.
Yeah, no. No. Yeah, he's gonna go ahead and close the door and lock it, and go over to the dumbwaiter and open it up. That sounds like a good option.
Yeah, it's a dumbwaiter. There are a couple of cords that are inside.
Cool.
Pretty big.
He's watched movies before. We'll just close the door behind us, and do the cables go up or down?
It seems they go both. You have a choice. Would you like to go up or down?
How tall was the strip mall?
I'm sorry?
Single story? The strip mall.
Oh, yeah, no, this is a single story, yeah.
So these cables should only go as high as the base, the attic.
You would think, yeah.
I mean, if I look up, is it completely pitch dark in here, or is there like enough light to be able to see some distance?
You can't make out much. There's these are sort of looking up through the hole. There's a shaft that goes up a ways. Possibly further than the top of this building should.
And down?
Look down. Same.
Okay. I'm going to go up, hoping to get out of the roof, because everybody knows that madness is cold and cold air descends.
Of course. That sounds reasonable.
Yeah, so I'm gonna climb up.
You start pulling, and gradually the sound of the ticking recedes as you go up higher than you think probably is supposed to be the roof of this building, and you will find yourself at another little port, another little door.
Okay. Open the door.
This room is full of mannequins.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm a sculptor. I'm an artist, and so while things have definitely been weird, a room full of mannequins is not necessarily something that Dustin would be creeped out by. So I think I'm going to crawl through the door and just, screw it. It's not the cops. So
Yeah, you come out. It's pretty quiet. It's fairly dark in here, but you can make out enough. There's some light filtering in from very high windows above. And yeah, there are a bunch of mannequins. Some of them are broken. And some of them are seemingly intact. Some of them seemingly have like different costumes on them. Some of them have nothing on them. It's like some kind of costuming shop of some kind, studio area, well, work area anyway.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's not too terribly bizarre. Not to Dustin.
Oh.
In fact, if I take a few moments to search around, can I find anything that would fit me? Like a quick change of clothes, basically.
Let's see. I'm going to assign this a pain rating of 2. And you can let me know what you're using. I got 1 success.
Okay. So we're gonna go with so we have the discipline, and I have the 1 permanent exhaustion, so I have to do at least 1 exhaustion die, right?
If you want to use your exhaustion, you have to. Yeah, you have to. You've got. Well, you took away. You have 1 exhaustion. You may increase it again if you wish. To have 2 exhaustion if you wish. But that's up to you. But you can have, your discipline dice, your however many exhaustion dice you will have, and then if you wish, you may add madness dice.
Yeah, I think at this point right now, I don't really think madness is going to be in play.
Not going to search
yet.
madly? Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, no. I'm saying is I don't think madness is going to be in effect. I think
Sure.
it's going to be the exhaustion more than anything.
Okay. Do you want to increase your exhaustion or just leave it at 1?
I'm gonna increase the exhaustion.
Okay, so you're going to be rolling your. Okay, go ahead and switch that in the in there to 2d6, which is what I think I set it at as default in there. For the exhaustion, roll your discipline and your exhaustion.
Okay. So that's discipline, and then that's exhaustion.
Okay. So, checking it out. Hang on. Okay. So you got 2 successes. And discipline is dominating. It looks like. So you are very, you're able to find something that looks fairly modern in here.
Okay.
So yeah, you can find a there's a suit in here if you want that, or if you want something a little more casual, then there's something kind of more. There's an outfit that's kind of more like. I mean, it's for like a theatrical production, so it's like there's sort of a torn T-shirt and biker jacket type gig. But those are the 2 things. So there's like a business suit, and then there's a biker outfit. Those are your choices, but they at least look fairly contemporaneous, and you don't have to go around dressed like a Flemish merchant if you don't want to.
Right.
You can if you want. There is a Flemish merchant outfit there, but it's totally up to you.
No, I think that would be a little eye-catching. Let's go with the business suit.
Okay.
Because I mean, I'm not sure it's not going to be something he's necessarily entirely used to, but at the same time, if they're already
Sure.
looking for a guy in jeans and a jacket, a business suit is going to be
Yeah.
off their radar.
Totally. You may also, since discipline dominated, you may either remove, if you wish, you may remove a die of exhaustion, or erase a checked response if you have any left.
We're gonna reduce the die of exhaustion.
Okay. So you put on this suit, and what color is the suit?
I'm gonna say it's a kind of like a gray tweed, just
Gray
like a
tweed,
very
awesome.
kind of nondescript, basic color.
Very cool. As you're finishing, you do hear what sounds like movement in the hallway outside. You don't hear any ticking, but it sounds like someone's out there.
I'm going to look around for a place to hide.
Okay. I'm going to come back to you in just a little bit.
Cool.
And I think we should probably, now is around the time I think we should take a break, so that we can recharge and find out soon to find out what everyone else is doing. We shall be back in just a few minutes. See you shortly. We have returned. I have a question I need to ask everybody before we proceed to the next thing, and that is that we never actually that we got a few details, a little bit about this the character from the game that seems to be out of place in some ways. The intended as a tsundere that became a yandere. And I was wondering a few details, like the character's name and sort of things about them. So at this time, I'd like to ask everyone to contribute a single detail to let me know a little bit more about this character. And I'm mostly doing that because it seems to be affecting at least 3 of our awakened folks, possibly all 4, depending on where that song comes in. So I'm going to go ahead and start with Anino, and just ask, give me a detail about that character.
Her name is Starmaker.
Starmaker.
That's her last name.
Okay. It's a good, solid name. Let's see. Alyssa, you got anything?
She has red hair because there aren't any tropes associated with that at all.
Not at all. None. And Rock. Give me a detail about Starmaker.
Her eyes hint at something that she's hiding, whether it's her true intellect or whether it's just that there's always like some joke or scheme constantly running through her head.
Okay. And Lauren.
She moves like a marionette.
Excellent. And just one thing I do want to ask, because I know you know this. So this is somewhat a character who I believe we described as a luchadora, so she would often be wearing the mask. Is there a style of mask where the hair is visible?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. That will be helpful. All right. Excellent. Thank you. I shall digest that. I'm going to move over to Lila, so that we can see what's up with her. So you drove away from almost certain representation, and I would like to know, where did you go? What did you do after that morning?
I'm thinking I did not go directly home because someone was pursuing me out of the coffee shop. So I feel like I may have just taken a drive around the suburbs, sticking to like populated areas, and then found somewhere to sit and look over this contract.
All right. So, yeah, you sit and you study this contract. Where do you go? Do you go to like a park, or do you go to like a coffee place, or you've just been from a coffee place?
Maybe I suppose it's a little early for a library to be open. So
yeah, it's a little early. They'll be open probably about in like an hour. It's like You're in that sort of strange place between 8 and 9 in the morning, I think, probably ish.
Mhm.
So what kind of place you want to be?
Let's see. Hmm. Maybe like a diner or something. That might be open early.
Sure, yeah, definitely. There is a Greasy Spoon that is open. Sort of, and again, this is kind of out in the outer ring of town, where the various struggling people live. There are people sitting in there, frustrated writers with their notebooks.
Oh, it's my people.
People who have been up too late. There are a couple of cops in there who look like they're getting off a night shift. They're wearing the standard modern day police uniform.
I don't know about the funny ones yet, though.
Not yet, no. So, you go in. Do you like sit and order anything? Or you're gonna
Yeah.
if you go and you sit down, they're gonna ask you. Would you sit
Yeah,
at a counter or at a
will.
booth?
I think a booth, so I have room to, like open up this paperwork without getting in anybody's way. I'll
Yeah.
order.
There are a fair number of people in here, but you do manage to snag a booth.
Yeah. I'll order like a hot tea and a muffin.
Okay, you place that order, and the waitress nods sagely. Actually, the waitress, when she comes over to take your order, I think you're just sort of a little distracted. You're kind of getting the contract out, and she takes your order. So that's in process. You take a little time to look over the contract. Yes, so it's you see that it is the talent agency Johnson and Hitler. You see that they take 10% of whatever it is that whatever jobs they get for you. Looks like a fairly standard contract as these things go. The legalese is tricky on this. It's very kind of. You don't see anything. There's nothing obvious in there. Nothing about we own your soul or anything like that. It does. There are a few points where it seems to. Yeah. Well, I will say as you're going over it, you see that basically it's the partners' names are Holden R. Johnson and Ulrich D. Hitler. And but then just sort of going through, this is basically, you see that the points, that there are a few points where it kind of gets into in event of crash, which is so apparently it says in event of a crash, that J&H will have and it will temporarily gain rights to continue using it says your work and thoughts in promotional material until such time as you have reawakened.
Huh.
So that's a clause in there. There's a it talks about in event of promotion, we can renegotiate the contract. But aside from that, either of you can pull out of the contract at any time.
Okay. Well, that one line is a little bit weird, but I have not slept yet today.
No.
So maybe I'm just reading into things.
No, maybe. That could be. It's hard to say. The waitress brings back your but will come and she will come over with your order. You ordered a muffin. And what else did you order?
A hot tea.
A hot tea and a muffin.
Uh-huh.
She sets them down. And for the first time, you actually get a good look at her. And she appears to... She looks slightly like a fish.
Well, I haven't been awake that long.
It's hard to say, really. Things have been looking kind of weird for a while now. You've been up for...
Oh, yeah.
It's hard to know how long. Maybe a few days.
Maybe. Yeah, I heard about a friend who was doing theater and didn't sleep for like a week and started hallucinating Jedi and stuff, but I don't think I was that far gone.
No, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. But she basically sets it down. Here you go, honey. And she turns and she walks back to the counters, taking other people's orders. They don't seem to notice that she has a fish head. Do you consume the muffin and drink the tea?
Well, as long as it isn't garnished with like scream cheese or something.
No, it looks no, it looks perfectly fine.
Okay.
It tastes all right. As you are finishing your repast, you notice that two men come in through the front door. They kind of have to turn sideways to get in. And they are again wearing these trench coats. And they've got their hats pulled down over their faces. And they seem to be kind of, well, looking around is perhaps the wrong word because you can't see their eyes. They're kind of moving as though to be looking around the room.
I feel like that is my cue to exit. So I will put some money on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Grab my paperwork. And, well...
There's a difficulty here. In that you will have to go past them in order to get out. This diner has got more people in it now. It's a bit crowded. You do see there does look like there is something that looks like it could be. There's so to your right would be the way through past people and out, which also involves going past these gentlemen. To the left, there's the way that leads behind the counter, and then you can see through a doorway into the kitchen.
cut through the kitchen.
Okay. It's actually interesting because it looks like the door to the kitchen is like off right at the end of the counter, accessible from out here, which is a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
But do you go ahead and go through anyway? Into the kitchen?
Yes.
Okay. So,
I'm ready to sort of schmooze if I have to.
something a little strange. So you pop through into the kitchen, you think. This kitchen is very big for the size of this diner. You see there are a couple of chefs walking around actually in chef's outfits. They seem to be... One of them seems to be hitting something with a hammer that appears to be trying to emerge from a big pot that's boiling on the stove. And the other one is kind of like running around, apparently looking for a fire extinguisher. You see there are a lot of very nasty knives on the wall and a rack. Yeah, it's a very spacious kind of chef's kitchen.
It's bigger on the inside.
Yes, oddly enough. It's kind of odd.
Yeah, that's not the only thing that's kind of
The
odd.
lights coming down. You see people sort of running back and forth. Some of them also look like fish. They're carrying trays. Some of the wait staff seem to be coming in, and there's sort of some squabbling going on. That there was some disagreement over the cuisine of resolution.
Okay.
You've got, so I mean, and I'm imagining the door to this room is sort of a swinging, one of those swinging diner doors.
That would
with
make
little,
sense.
with a little window in it, a little round window, and as you look, you glance back, you see the two burly trench-coated figures are sort of looking around. They're getting closer, inside the diner. So you've got this kitchen though, and there are a number of exits out of it.
Well, I'm gonna proceed to weave my way through the kitchen and try to get out a back door.
All right. So let me see. You are basically trying to evade these gentlemen, as you're doing so, going through these strange deal, these various staff members are sort of getting gawking and looking, seeing that you're in the kitchen. They're like, "What? Why did you get out of that?" And so you're kind of trying to deal with that simultaneously. So I'm going to assign this a pain of 4, as these are as the pinheads, as they're called, that are chasing you, are rather dogged. I'm going to go ahead and roll the pain.
To the pain.
And I got 1 success. You've got you've got your discipline. I don't know if you have any exhaustion dice right now. I can't remember, but
I don't think I have any yet.
Oh, that's right. You had But you can add up to 6 madness dice. You can also, if you wish, increase your exhaustion by 1 and get that exhaustion die.
All right. I think that I will go ahead and add an exhaustion.
Okay. You add 1 before you roll, and then you you can add an exhaustion die to this. Right. 1 exhaustion die. Did you want me madness dice or just the discipline and exhaustion?
Just the discipline and exhaustion for now.
Let's do it. Okay, we tied. So that goes to you. But pain dominates. So.
Yay.
And as you are coming through, oh, let me do this. Well, actually, no, I can only add to something that you roll, a pool that you rolled. If I want to use one of my despair coins, and yeah, if I do that, that's not really going to change much. So I'll hold. I'll use it soon. But yes, pain dominates, so I get another despair coin. Yeah, as you are coming through, I think that that you sort of immediately not completely looking where you're going, just trying to get as you see them kind of starting to the doors opening. You think they're going to try to come through. You try to duck out one of the exits, and you run into yet another fish waiter carrying a tray. And he basically, as this happens, at the same time, one of the chefs who's coming by is chasing something that is scuttling across the floor, is using his knives, and just sort of coming down. It comes down right near you, and he plunges his knife down, kind of as you're sort of standing up, and it goes just into your thigh, which is very painful. And he's just kind of, the thing scuttles, and he's like, he's getting away. Oh, I'm so sorry. And he takes the, he's like, oh my goodness. And he pulls back. The knife doesn't sink all the way down into your thigh necessarily. It sort of nicks it. And he's like, all right, what are you doing in here? Let's get you back out into the restaurant. And he's trying to kind of move you away from.
I was just leaving.
You don't want a bandage or something?
I got stuff in my car. I'll take care of it.
Whatever you desire. So you burst out through the back door, onto a side street. It is nighttime, and there's what sounds like light music playing as you look across and you see what looks like a supermarket, and that appears to be being staffed by a couple of trees that are moving around and doing something over there. I'm going to cut now just a little ways down the street. The camera pans, goes round a corner, goes down the street to the entrance to an alleyway where a calliope is rolling by, playing merrily as Nancy emerges from the alley. As you step out, Nancy, you are going to see that you're in kind of a... It's nighttime. You're in a kind of a market district.
Uh-huh.
Cobblestone street. And there are various sort of little different storefronts that say things on them like desire and fortitude and memory. And as you look down, you can see a clear shot through these buildings that look like they're kind of twisted and leaning in at weird angles. Sort of looking up into the night sky, you can see this strange cityscape, but one thing that you can see very clearly, no matter where you are in this place, is a clock tower at the center that has, and you look up, it's sort of a Big Ben looking affair, and the clock face has 13 hours on it. There are all manner of people bustling around. Well, people is an interesting term for it. Some of them are people. They look like they're dressed from all manner of different eras. Some are in modern dress. Some look like they're dressed more like they're from the 40s. Some look like they're from the 1800s. And then there are people that are not entirely people. There's a couple of impossibly tall individuals going around and selling something. There's a sort of a spider-like person crawling up the side of a building and washing windows. There's a family of goats just walking merrily by. What would you like to do?
So the first thing she does is she takes a water bottle out of her backpack and just like pours it on her face because she thinks she's asleep or possibly high, but she doesn't know when that would have happened. So maybe both. And she's going to get as far away from the alley door as possible.
Oh,
just
absolutely.
Not like trying to make eye contact with anybody, just walking.
All right. So, as you're walking, you're just sort of trying not to look at anybody. It's very, it's a lot of oddity. It sounds the calliope are sort of moving off. You come to an intersection, there's like, so, to the right is what looks like there are signs that say Fashion District. To the left are signs to the Market District. And ahead you see taller buildings, things that are looking, there's like an arena on one side. On the other side there are a lot of very tall, sort of factory-looking businesses even further down. And yes, all manner of different things here.
She starts looking for like a news stand, like someplace that sells magazines, gum, hopefully a map.
You head over to a newsstand. You actually have to head down to the left a block. It's kind of in the same direction the calliope was going.
Okay.
And you head down, and there is a newsstand. There's several different, a few different papers on it, a couple different papers. The 13th Truth, the Nightly Revealer, again, that's the same cover that you've got one on. A few different odds and ends. There are a few comic books. And you don't see any maps immediately on the outside of this thing.
Hello?
And gentleman just sort of, hello? Just sort of comes up, and it looks like he's made out of clay. As he looks, but he's got a flat cap on, and he looks around. Oh, I didn't see you there. How can I help you, miss?
Do you have a map?
What kind of map you looking for?
I'm trying to find a hospital, psychiatric ward.
Oh yeah, that's over in the medical district, a bit ways down. I can sell you a map, but I'm going to tell you just so you're aware, I can't guarantee it will remain the same after 13 o'clock.
What happens at 13 o'clock?
Oh, they come out.
Who comes out?
Everybody. Talking the fuzz out from 13 come around, start collecting. It's a little safer around here. First time here?
Yeah. Is it obvious?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, you want to be careful about that. But yeah, it's no, the districts largely remain the same unless they decide it's time for a redo. It's going to be a bit further back across the arts district. So where you can find medical. If you want a map, I can sell you one if you want.
How much would it be?
Oh, just, I can let go for a bit of a light feeling.
What?
Well, I don't need a serious feeling, serious emotion, anything like that. But, just a single... I mean, I can take a memory, but I don't know if it's... I mean, that's a... I could... I'd have to make change for it, and I can probably come up with something, but... I mean, if you've only got memories, I can take a memory, but if you've got, like, a very light, insignificant feeling, I can do that. You're not familiar with the economy, eh?
No, no, I mean, never. I'm an artist, so no, not at all.
Oh yeah. And he starts molding some of his face to sort of changing it a little bit to give him a higher brow and slightly sort of narrower, and he's giving himself cheekbones. And as he's doing this, and he's like, "Yeah, it's a rough life, isn't it?"
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to just mold and adapt to be able to make everything work. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It can be rough, but you can't abandon what you love, eh?
Right. What constitutes a light feeling?
Oh no, you felt about your last sprained wrist. If you had a meal you felt a little bit strongly one way or the other about recently. Maybe someone a friend of yours bought something and you wish you had it. That kind of thing.
Okay. Sure.
So you just want to think about it and look in your pocket and give me something from in there, and that'll do it.
Okay. Sure. So she thinks about last time she was sick, and she had a really great bowl of ramen, probably that Alice made her, and how it comforted her. And then she looks in her pocket.
There is a seasoning packet, a ramen seasoning packet in there. Just to be clear, are you providing the memory or the feeling?
The feeling?
Okay. So you take it out, and you've got this packet of ramen flavoring in your hand.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, that'll do right nice.
She slowly hands it over.
He takes it. Oh, thank you very much, miss. As he takes it, the memory is still there, but you get this wave of indifference, kind of, that comes over you. It's a little odd. Just about that moment. It's like, yeah, okay, that was nice. And he takes it and he's like, very good, very good. Don't get a lot of ramen in these parts. Should actually look into that. There's probably a market for it. Hang on, here you go. Yeah. And he takes the map down from a rack in the back. He says, "Oh yeah, should be good. Should be good for the next couple hours anyway. Here you go, miss. Good luck."
Thanks.
This paper map.
Okay, she's gonna walk away from that.
As you are walking away, you see that you're heading down an area where there are like a number of restaurants. Probably. Sort of sees that though that one of them kind of has a very large dancing slice of pizza in front of it, and you're not sure whether it's actual pizza or someone in a costume. Just beyond that, popping out the back door of one of these places, you see someone you recognize.
Whew.
You see Lila. You've worked with her before.
Looking like a crazy person, I run over to her. Hi.
Nancy!
Hey,
Ow! Hi!
you're bleeding.
Yeah!
I wonder what blood gets you here.
What?
Nothing.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'm not sure I want to know.
No. Were we out somewhere? Were we at like a club?
I mean, I was at a club, but not that kind of club.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see you there.
Great. I think I'm dreaming then. I think I'm asleep. I'm dreaming. Cool. Good. Do you wanna walk with me?
Yeah, give me a second, and I will, like, take off my scarf and kind of, like, wrap it around my leg as a bandage and kind of tie it off. Okay?
Good call.
Yeah.
Okay. I open the map. Like, open it up full tourist style.
You open it up. Few goats walk by. A few goats in tuxedos wander by, shaking their heads and buying disapprovingly. You get there's this sort of, it looks like a wheel. You think if what he said was correct, you're at the intersection of the market district and the fashion district, and basically, so there's sort of an inner sort of circular street that goes across a few different things. If you go counterclockwise, you'll go past the arts district, and then over to the medical district, and that is what you think you're looking for. The medical district. The street runs between. So the fashion and the arts district are right opposite the street from the entertainment district. If you continue, the medical district. It says on the map, the medical district and the necropolis are opposite of the re-education district at the center. Toward the center, you have 4 bigger pie pieces, basically.
I don't want to go by the necropolis. I like that first thing you said.
Yeah, you don't have to go quite that far necessarily.
I don't want to go there at all. I want to steer clear. I want to go through the arts district. Okay, I think we're going this way.
Okay.
Okay.
You head counterclockwise, going past a lot of sites like the ones I have been describing. And as you start heading down this street together, going to have and you enter the arts district, you see quite a few people doing street painting desperately. A few people spray painting sides of buildings, a few people actually standing out. There's a lot of painting. There are living statues.
No.
Hard to tell.
No.
And
No.
we're going to as you're passing by a building, we're going to zoom the camera up and we're going to go inside. And Jamaru, you have found your way out of that room, down a couple of floors, and you're in a hallway. There's like a couple of stairs that went down. You haven't found any elevators yet. And you notice that there are a few other sort of, for rent places here, type deal. And one of them actually, there's kind of a little bit of a light coming out from it a little bit. But it's one of the doors is in fact ajar. And it's like for a moment you hear, it sounds like there might be somebody in there.
So Jamaru is going to poke his head in as quietly as he can to see what's going on.
So it's a little dark in there, but it looks like there are a bunch of mannequins in there.
Mannequins.
Sort of model display thing type deals. Costumes.
Okay. So he's going to swing the door open wider, but he's going to. Oh wait, no, he left his baton back at the subway. I guess he's just going to go in, but he's going to be really, really cautious, as if he's about ready to lunge and throw a punch at the first thing that comes out.
Dustin, could you mind telling me where it is that you're hiding?
Yeah. I think Dustin kind of tried to weave his way towards the back of a bunch of mannequins. You know how, like, a lot of those places usually have the mannequins like hanging or standing up, or he's just kind of like make his way to the back, try to, hide behind, kind of like stand behind a couple of mannequins, hope it's not noticed that he's not one.
Yeah. Are you watching the front, or are you just sort of like crouching down trying to stay hidden?
No, I think he's watching the front. He's,
Okay.
you
So you see Jamaru come in, and he's looking around cautiously. He's coiled tightly on the defense.
Yeah. So Jamaru is actually going to look at the nearest mannequin, and he's going to tear the arm out of it, just so that he has something to lunge in someone with.
Yeah, you do. When you do that, you hear a very low, ah! You tear the arm off the mannequin.
I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that, and I am just going to not look at the end of the joint in which what was torn out of the mannequin.
Okay, not looking. Good.
Not looking. No.
You've got a mannequin arm.
Yeah.
When Jamaru does this, is Dustin able to see his back?
I think that I mean I don't think you turned much. You just were looking. So I mean he's looking at. Well, he's not looking at the mannequin. Very specifically, he's not looking at the mannequin. I don't think you see his entire back. I think you see maybe shoulder, at best.
Okay, so I can't see whether or not there's a key in his back.
You haven't noticed one yet. You also do not hear any ticking yet, but it's hard to say.
Okay. Well, if I don't hear any ticking, I recognize that it's Jamaru, then I'm going to, I think at that point, Dustin is going to kind of like brush to the front, like out into the open. And just, Jamaru.
And Jamaru is just going to reel back with his arm, a mannequin arm. He's like, Jesus fucking Christ! What are you doing here?
I'm hiding.
I gotta tell you, this is probably not one of the safest places that I would think of to hide. No offense, but you look a little more animated than these mannequins out here.
Yeah, well, I didn't have much choice. I came from over there, and I'm gonna point to the dumbwaiter. It's like I came out of there, and this is where I was, and I heard noise outside, and I didn't know who it was, so I hid.
Why did you come down in a dumbwaiter?
It's a long story. There's police involved, and just some weird things. I don't, it's not important. What is that? Did you see any cops?
I did. I might have thrown an egg into one of their faces. They chased me down a subway, and then saw this crazy lady who didn't look like she slept since World War II. She opened a window in the subway, and then I crawled in through that window and ended up in this really, really crappy studio. I think it was like Rob Liefeld's studio. And then I exited out of the office doors and came down here. And then, yeah. I have no idea how I got here from a subway and how you got here from a dumbwaiter. But that shit's just fucked up.
Yeah, that... Look, I know you got fired from your job. You're doing okay, right? You haven't been drinking or maybe medicating.
He's just gonna look really offended at that. I'm like, wow, Dustin, wow, you don't even know me, man, and how dare you, sir?
Well,
I mean, you're
okay,
you're looking pretty bad yourself, dude. I mean, I haven't seen anyone that pale since the Addams Family movie.
Oh, come on, dude. You come at me with this story about running from the cops and going into the subway and then going through a window into a studio. That doesn't sound just a little off to you?
Okay, so you ran away from some cops and then ducked somehow into this dumbwaiter that brought you down into here from a mall.
There is a sound. It sounds kind of like creaking from above. Footsteps from the floor above. And just sort of like, and you can almost swear you can hear something. It's like something also slapping the floor. Like a... And then more footsteps and... And then there's something sort of shaking beyond the wall where the dumbwaiter is as you've been referencing it. And then you hear something. You hear that someone is moving the dumbwaiter.
So Jamaru is going to take the mannequin arm and stick it into the dumbwaiter before, but make sure like part of it is still sticking out so I try to jam it.
Dustin, did you close the dumbwaiter behind you, or did you leave it open?
That's a detail I forgot.
Like, that's a really personal question, Jim.
I mean,
do you leave your dumbwaiters open? It's okay. You can tell me. Okay, I think we're going to it's not a hugely significant thing. So we're what I'm going to have you do, Jamaro here, is you're fighting against this entity that is pulling the dumbwaiter. It's not a direct confrontation, so I'm only going to give it a pain of about... Because the dumbwaiter's going to be going up pretty quickly. I'm going to give it a pain of about 4 to get across the room to where the dumbwaiter is and jam the thing in before it reaches up there. Pain of 4. I'm going to roll. And I got 2 successes. So what would you like to bring in? You want to just discipline or anything else?
I am just going to use discipline.
Okay. I don't think you have any exhaustion right now, do you?
I have 3.
You have 3 exhaustion? You have to roll your exhaustion. So you must roll at least your discipline and your exhaustion.
Okay. So is my exhaustion now going to be 3d6? Do I have to edit the macro?
Yeah, if you have 3 exhaustion, it is going to be 3d6. You can always increase it beforehand if you want, but I don't recommend it at this point. Is you get more than 6, you crash. Okay. All right, let's see what we got happening here. Well, discipline's going to dominate. 1 success, 2 successes, 3 successes. Yes, you just in the nick of time, you jam the arm in there, and it's starting to... and... after a moment, after a few seconds, it's like there's a... and the bottom of the dumbwaiter breaks off as the thing is yanked upwards.
Well,
I'm
that's
going
nuts.
to... Dustin is going to grab an arm from one of the mannequins, like just not even thinking about it. He's just going to yank one of the arms off and go running towards where Jamaru and the dumbwaiter are.
Run toward him.
Yeah.
You're running toward him with this arm. The dumbwaiter is like, and just rolling up. And then it stops. And then you hear from up above, and then you hear footfalls again, running, it seems, across in another direction, away from where the dumbwaiter is.
Huh. Well, I think we better get out of here. Jamaru's just gonna rip off another arm from another man. No, he's gonna rip a leg off.
Rip off a leg? Okay. Yeah, you do this, you hear.
Yeah. Sorry, I need this more than you. And he's going to look. Is there another exit or a door apart from the one that he came in through?
In this room, no. Just you have a shaft for the dumbwaiter in front of you, and then you have the door behind you, and that's it. Oh, there are windows. There are high windows. You'd have to climb up to get to them. But
let's go through one of the windows.
All right.
Are you sure? I think we should go through the door is safer.
I just came from that door. I don't think there's really any place else out that door that I think would be safe. I think we should get outside. I think outside would be good.
Yeah, but jumping out a window? I mean,
we're not that high up, are we? I thought we were underground.
No.
No, we're not.
No, I came up the dumbwaiter, so we should be like on the 2nd floor.
So you don't know any parkour? I mean, I gotta say, 2 stories doesn't really sound so bad.
I'm an artist, not an athlete. Look, we can go through the door. It doesn't matter what's there. We're both armed.
Well, I'm legged, but yeah. Okay, fine. Let's go.
You heading through the door?
And yeah, he'll head through the door.
You emerge through the door, and the hallway will continue. You'll see in the direction you came from, and then further down, and then you see a set of stairs at the far end. There are a number of glasses. There are a number of windows running along the hallway you just turned away from to get here. As you're turning toward these stairs, you hear a shattering, And coming in through the window, it seems having rappelled down the side of the building for a moment, you see a figure that lands, and then you hear whoosh as it brings a whip in with it, slowly rising. You see, it looks, this figure, this very hard-muscled, jerking upward, wearing what seems to be a close outfit, a tied outfit that's like very sort of tied at the wrists and the ankle and the wrists and the knees, sort of rope. Red hair, it seems probably red, flowing behind it, and a mask covering its face. And Star Maker, grins widely and raises her hand and points at the two of you. You. And she begins running at you. What would you like to do?
Well, Jamaro's now just pissed because not only has he been chased by cops, which, as a black man, not a fun thing. He is now pissed that his own creation is standing before him, ready to kill him. And, he's not going to go down running. No, he's going to go down fighting, and he's going to go down fighting mad. So he's going to reach deep within and tap into his madness talent.
What you doing? So you're gonna, let's see. So you're going to draw on your madness talent, and how big a transformation do you want?
Yeah, he's gonna grow to let's say Undertaker heights, and so we're gonna say about 6'10", 6'11".
Okay. So that transformation begins, and I think, yeah, we can handle this as two separate things. So, Dustin, you see Jamaro standing up. You see that muscles rippling. Is the shirt tearing? Describe what this looks like.
So, you see like sunglasses and a big bandana just appear on his face and head, and like his hoodie like shifts into the sequined robe with stars, and his hair gets a little frizzy. He grows a beard, and you hear like pomp and circumstance starting to come up in the background, because
are you becoming
history
Macho Man?
beckons the Macho Man, and so he becomes larger than life, and maybe a little bigger than the original Macho Man, but these are desperate times.
I love it.
And so he's going to just do this and beckon the luchadora to come at him.
All right. So, at this point, having just met her, she is at 6 pain. So, you're going to be using at least 3 madness dice for that transformation in this roll, as part of this roll. And then, of course, your discipline and any exhaustion you have. I'm going to go ahead and roll my pain dice here. I got 3 successes. And you may increase your exhaustion if you wish, but that's up to you. I think you're muted.
No, we're not going to do that. We snapped into the Slim Jim, and we're going to go at it right now.
All right. So just roll your existing discipline and exhaustion, and
and then madness was 3.
Mhm.
Do I have to roll madness now?
all right. So let's see here.
That's 4.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, that's going to be 4 successes. So you did beat her. And it looks like madness dominates. So as you're coming in on her, yeah, you're going to actually. You know what? Actually, I'm going to use a despair coin because I just did the math. I'm going to use a despair coin. I'm going to put a 6 in the exhaustion pool and make exhaustion dominate. But that does give you a coin of hope. So, still succeed, but this is going to be tiring. What do you do to it? What does this look like when you clash?
So they'll do the collar and elbow lockup, and he's going to reverse it and spin around so that he grabs her from behind, and he's going to German suplex her, just straight backwards, drop her right down on her neck.
All right. So you do that, and she's like, ah! And you hear something crunch, and you push her back almost to the window. When she does that, and she's under you, and you've got her pinned at this point. I think is that a move that ends in a pin or no?
It can. So it ended in a bridge, and he's probably just going to let it go because he's not.
Yeah, you hear a crunch, and she's like, and
can he throw her back out the window? Or
sure.
Push her backwards out the window?
Yeah, and so you're sort of trying, as you're picking her up, she's like, I will defeat you. I will have your... And she doesn't get to finish the sentence, because you throw her out the window, and you hear... And you hear and then sort of as she's lashing out with the whip again. And then you hear nothing.
Do I still see her down there?
You look out. She is nowhere to be seen.
Okay, so Macho Wonder right now is...
I will tell you what you do see, though.
Okay.
I should point out. My apologies. As you're looking out, you can see across the city this landscape. You've actually got a better view now of the city as you're just sort of looking around, and you see a clock tower at the center of the city. You see it's sort of on a wheel. You see that it's got 13 numbers on it. And as you're looking around and you're sort of looking down, you will you see a number of streets, and you will see kind of passing below you just a number of people. It looks like you're looking out you're sort of in an districts. There are a lot of artists sort of like running around scrambling, but you see a couple of faces you recognize down there.
All right, so
and the two of you look up and you see what looks like is that Randy Savage out there? It's hard to out this window that something just smashed out of and then immediately leapt away.
Lila,
Yeah.
what the fuck is that? Is it waving at us or?
So, Macho Wonder is not actually waving, but he has both of his arms up and he's pointing to the sky like this. And it looks like he was about to leap and drop a gigantic 2-story elbow, but he can't find his target. So he sort of gets really upset and his arms just go down to his side and he just goes angrily, just throws his arms up and turns and walks back from the window.
He didn't look too happy.
I think we scared him off.
Because I made exhaustion dominate there, by the way, you gain another die of exhaustion, just so you're aware.
Boo, boo.
Yeah, Dustin, you see this on the inside. You saw Jamaro turn and come back.
Yeah, I think Dustin sees all of this, and when he sees Jamaru just kind of Hulk out, he kind of stumbles backwards a couple of feet, and I think kind of trips, and that's the reason why that would be part of the reason why he didn't participate in this fight. Was just kind of like
it happened incredibly fast.
Yeah, so it's still kind of a dude. What the hell?
Sorry, just gotta run wild sometimes, brother.
Are you, yeah, Jamaru?
What's it to you?
Have you checked a mirror?
I could, but I don't want to be too impressed with myself right about now. So we should probably keep going. I don't think that Star Maker's. We've seen the last of her. We should probably get down from here too.
Wait,
quick way, but I didn't really have anyone to land on, so.
I mean, there were some street painters out there if you really want to, but sorry.
Yeah, no.
The character from the game?
Yeah.
That was just like somebody in a costume, right?
Does this look like a costume to you, brother?
No, it doesn't.
We'll try not to break psychotically here.
Yeah.
He's just going to turn, and his sequin cape is just going to switch around and trail behind him as he continues to walk down the hall and look for the stairs.
Oh, yeah. Stairs are right at the end. They go down and turn around, so it's like the enclosed. So you hit a landing, you turn, you can head further down, and there's a little short hallway leading to a doorway to perhaps the outside.
Okay.
Dustin, are you following this person? Possibly Jamaro?
Yeah, so I think what's gonna happen is Dustin's just gonna kind of like stare for a few moments before scrambling to get up and follow, making sure that he is taking the arm with him.
Oh yeah, you've got it.
So but yeah, he's gonna follow.
All right. So the two of you will come out into the street. Jamaro, are you staying in this form? I just wanted to, just so I'll know.
No, as he's walking down the stairs, it'll start to just fade and he'll shrink back to his normal self. But his, for whatever reason, his clothes remain. And
yes,
they'll still swim on him a little bit, but He does look majestic
Perfect.
now.
He does. You come out into the street amongst all these artists, these street artists, and you see Nancy and Lila there also. Jamaro and Dustin will, and yeah, it's like Jamaro and Dustin are coming out of a building, that same building where that just happened. Thank you very much for the subscription.
Hi.
So, Jamaro's going to clear his voice. He goes, "Hey, how's it going?"
Okay. No, I'm pretty sure we were at a party now. We were at a party, weren't we, Lila? You don't remember, but I bet it'll come back to me any moment. We were partying.
You guys were out at a party?
I hope so. Because I think we're all high and passed out.
I've never felt more alive than I am.
So definitely high. Jamaro's definitely high.
Yeah, so he's just he's not even looking at anybody in particular.
Yeah.
He's still got these massive like black sunglasses on that look more like ski goggles at this point.
Oh.
And yeah.
Well, I think we should maybe stick together because this place is weird and I have a map. Lila and I were just walking. If you all want to walk with us, I think we should walk together.
Yeah.
Where would we go?
We're gonna just like drop by the hospital real quick. I have a German friend there who apparently knows where my sister is. So that's why I'm saying I'm pretty sure this is a shared dream. You know, you ever seen Buffy? Tomorrow, you ever seen Buffy? The end of season 4. You've seen Buffy. Everybody's seen Buffy. It's the end of season 4 of Buffy.
Oh, God. We're headed towards a musical.
If only. That was season 6. We could be there at any moment, though.
Yeah. So the thing about hospitals is that usually they call police when things are a little odd, and I'm Jamaru and I are sort of trying to stay away from cops as much as possible.
Yeah, fuck the authority.
There was a thing.
Yeah.
It's a long story. It's 2 long stories.
Okay, so no cops. They have something. Oh, what did he say? Like after 13 o'clock, we should not be here because they come to make collections. I don't know what he was talking about. But I mean, we're not going to the ER. We're just going visit like a doctor, I think. So we probably won't run into any cops.
You trust this guy?
No. He had an evil German accent. So, just German.
What was this German guy's name?
Klaus.
Oh. 'Cause I got a business card with a German name on it.
Oh, what German name was it?
No, this one. And I'll show her the card.
What the fuck is this?
Somebody claiming to want to sign me up for some kind of music broadcasting gig. I don't know. It was weird, and there's some crazy shit in the contract. I don't know. I don't really feel good about it.
At this moment, some lights come on. You hear the poof, and these are lights of a billboard that apparently has just been turned on as we've just passed 9 o'clock. And it's it's like an ad for medicine. It says, but as you look up, it says, Dr. Knight asks, have you taken your awakenedness? And standing there, wearing a lab coat and holding a clipboard, smiling self-assuredly, is Alice up there on the billboard. And that, I believe, is where we're going to end this one.
Wait, no, this is my new favorite one. I'm an artist.
Oh, yeah.
All right, folks. Well, we've successfully navigated our second episode, and we have come to a point. We finally got everyone together, and I am delighted. We shall go around now and do our outros, and tell folks where they can find you and any thoughts about this episode. And if we're doing art, I guess I will go ahead and let's see. Actually, you know what? I'm going to rotate a little bit how I'm going to do this time. I'm going to start with, because I feel like mixing it up a little bit. I'm actually going to start with Rock.
Oh, hey. So Rock007 on Twitter and most social media places. So this was an episode, man. This was a thing. I am nervous about where we go next. Yeah. Other than that, I had a great time, man. I'm loving this. I'm digging it. So I really am, and being able to play with you and be able to play with all these lovely people. That just, Tuesdays is the highlight of my week now.
Thank you so much. That's awesome. And Alyssa, how's it going?
Well, things are certainly getting interesting. So my name is Alyssa. You can find me at Origami Shuriken on Twitter. And that's where I'll be posting any updates. Currently, I'm just in this mini campaign on Tuesdays. And I'm excited that we got the party together. So things should get really interesting, and I'm excited to find out what happens next.
And Danilo, hey.
Hey, how's it going? My name is Anino. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Anino Gaming, one word. I am doing Extra Life. I just completed my Extra Life game day, but I will probably be surfacing to do a 1-hour special stream on the official Extra Life channel. So tune in for that. But you can also still donate. About less than $200 away from giving away the grand prize, which is a turquoise Nintendo Switch Lite. So if you want one and you are feeling lucky, just head on over to that page and hit the big green donate button and go donate today. Your gift will go directly to helping patients at Boston Children's Hospital. Apart from that, I had a lot of fun with this one. I was trying to figure out which wrestler I was going to go with first, and I felt like that was a pretty good classic. So we'll see whether or not I survive, because I think I've used up a lot more energy than everybody else. So
we shall see. We shall see how it goes. And finally, Lauren, how you doing?
Place is weird. I like it. I'm Lauren. I'm that salty ginger over on Twitter. You can catch me here and over on Tales from the Grim on Sundays and Mondays. And that's about it for now.
Awesome. Awesome. Delighted so much to have you here. I have to have you all here. And thank you for going on this mad journey with me. We're halfway through. As for me, I'm Jim Ryan, and you can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimmyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I've got links down below to my website, Twitter, and YouTube channel. Here on Saturdays, we have our Invisible Sun campaign, The Edge of Paradox. We did a lot of cackling over a cheese sandwich last time. Hopefully there will be other things happening this time. We'll see what happens. On Sundays we do one-shots. The one-shot this Sunday will be the second of our two one-shots of 10 Candles. This one, Wild Engineer is going to be coming and running. He's going to be guest GMing for us. And I cannot wait, for I will actually be playing. I am utterly terrified already. So I'm going to be delighted to see what happens. And of course, back around to Tuesdays when we'll have more of this. And we'll see what the Mad City has to offer. Sign-ups have not... Right now we're kind of between sign-ups. I'm going to get one out hopefully by tomorrow. I'm going to try to get more sign-ups out for upcoming games. One shot at the end of the month of Trail of Cthulhu that I'm going to try to cram into my brain quickly and then run. Then next month's short campaign, I'm going to start recruiting for that. That's going to be Alas for the Awful Sea, powered by the Apocalypse game. As always, beginners are more than welcome. So keep an eye on the on that page over on jimmyesthatjim.com, and just go there, click on game, sign up, and then hopefully in the next day or so the sign up should be up there. Well, let's see. When we hit the end card, what's going to happen when we hit the end card? We should probably raid someone. Normally I planned this. Ha ha! It is Tuesday night. What's happening? Oh, well, you know what? Off the Table is playing Alas for the Awful Sea. What a coincidence! They're the ones that I saw play it first, and so I knew it had to happen over here. It'll happen at some point. Let's go say hi to them. Let me make sure that I've put... I got so excited I keep forgetting to put all of the links in here. Yeah, we'll go ahead, and when we hit the end card, we will go over there and say hello. Feel free to hang on with us if you would, to say hi with us. In the meantime, folks, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I will see you next week. Farewell.